A child's behavior is not always what it seems. Behavior of children who have experienced or are experiencing a traumatic event are often misunderstood or misinterpreted. In an effort to provide a trauma-sensitive approach through a culture of safety and support for our students, the Washington County School District endorses the Handle with Care program. The good news? Well, as educators, we can help students who have experienced a traumatic event to succeed in school. And it all starts by simply handling the student with care. There can be a lot under the surface of a child's behavior, sometimes contributing to those aspects that are more obvious. For example, a student may appear angry, but is actually experiencing sadness or anxiety from an incident at home. So what is Handle with Care? This video presents a brief overview of the Handle with Care program. It's shocking but true. 60% of American children are exposed to traumatic events such as violence, drug use, and other crime. And these experiences can have devastating, long-lasting effects, putting children at risk of future problems such as skipping school, failure to graduate, and trouble with the law. All too often, the cycle of trauma repeats because it goes unrecognized with no intervention, and that's where Handle with Care comes in. Handle with Care empowers the community to unite with a goal of protecting traumatized kids so they might heal and thrive. Handle with Care is a simple but effective collaborative model, reducing the effects of trauma on children by opening the lines of communication between first responders who are there when the trauma occurs and the school's educators who typically have no idea. So here's an example of how it works. Law enforcement or other first responders are dispatched to a potentially traumatizing situation in the community. If a child is present, he's identified, and a Handle with Care notice is generated. The deputy or EMS personnel fills out a simple form with the child's name, date of birth, and name of school. A message is sent to that school or care provider that simply states, "Jeannie Smith, Handle with Care." That's it. To protect the family's privacy, no other details about the student or the incident are sent. When the school staff receives the notice, they will have a heads up, and once the teacher is aware, they can observe and ensure the student isn't struggling or maybe having issues. If the teacher does notice issues, they can suggest some alone time in the nurse's office or simply postpone the current project, making the student's day a little easier. The student can subsequently be connected to mental health care or other services. Discipline is not always the best response to behavior in a child, because that behavior could simply be a cry for help. The recognition that a child is going through a traumatic event and the choice to give that child some quiet time to redirect that energy will change the dynamic between the school and the child, which may help the child be more successful in the near future. The Handle with Care model helps create better outcomes for children exposed to trauma. And at its most basic, Handle with Care is about changing the paradigm in communities, focusing on children as the future of the health and wellness of that community. Your community just needs to show a willingness to commit the time and talent needed to work together and protect our kids. Now that we have a foundational understanding of the Handle with Care program, let's highlight a few key points important to remember. The Handle with Care notification system is essential to supporting students' academic and behavioral success by alerting school personnel that a student may have been exposed to a potentially traumatic event. This event may have involved law enforcement or Department of Children and Families, or DCF, during non-school hours. With this in mind, the notification helps to identify students who may be at risk and may need some compassion and grace to make it through the day. The system provides teachers and school staff with an awareness and a heads up. The program connects children with accessible mental health services if needed, and finally provides an opportunity to strengthen and improve relationships in the schools and community, helping to improve a student's overall academic and behavioral outcome. One very important aspect of the program is that no detail or information of the event the student has experienced is provided to Washington County Schools. This is simply a notification system, and the privacy of the student and the family is totally respected. So how does this work? Each school morning, one person at the district level receives a notification of the names of the identified students from law enforcement or DCF. A Handle with Care notice is then completed and sent to the identified personnel at the student school. A notification in the form of a purple W will appear on the WCSD Student Information System for a period of 2 weeks, following the Handle with Care notice. If the identified student appears to need additional support, the student can be referred to the school's mental health liaison or school counselor. If no additional support is needed, simply continue the day's activities. So what can you do as a WCSD employee to support these students? Simply monitor the student for any academic or behavioral challenges and determine if the student needs extra support. Continue with your regular classroom or school activities if no additional support is needed. And if additional support is needed, complete a referral to your school-based mental health liaison or school counselor. Knowing what you can do to help this student is as important as knowing what you should not do. Please do not ask the student about the Handle with Care notice or specific events. The child's experience does not change our response or our support. Please do not investigate the nature of the event. Please do not discuss the Handle with Care notification with that student. Please do not share the notification with others. Remember, the privacy of the student and the family must be respected, and those who need to know will receive notification. Creating a trauma-sensitive school environment is something that we as educators can easily do. Creating safe and predictable environments, building supportive relationships with our students, and helping students regulate their emotions benefits all students. The implementation of this program would not be possible without the support and collaboration with community partners, such as the Washington County Sheriff's Office, the Chipley Police Department, the Florida Department of Children and Families, and other law enforcement and first responder agencies. Thank you for your support in handling Washington County students with care. Simply click the link in the description to verify your completion of this training.